I can't help but feel like everything that I do is personally affected by day-to-day new media. I'd like to say that I'm in charge, but like most people, I find myself relying heavily on more modern new media such as the smartphone. Every morning I wake up and scroll through my phone, catching up on news notifications and messages that I have missed. As much as I would like to say that I am in charge, I am addicted to many forms of media and my actions are influenced by the bias associated with them. As described in The Century of the Self, this is the all-consuming self. But are we really in charge? Our actions are influenced by the social norms associated with the mediums we use, before we even use them. As said by Marshall McLuhan, the medium is the message, meaning it sets the tone for the outcome of the use of the media that you are using. Even user-controlled mediums, such as my Instagram story, are not necessarily controlled by myself. The medium is the message, and Instagram is a medium that screams, "Look at me." So naturally, most of the things that I post on my story are photos of myself, or my friends, or the things that I am doing throughout the day. Another example would be texting. When I have a strict texting-only relationship with someone, I'm expecting quick, informative responses. If that person suddenly decides to call me, that may throw me off because it's not the social norm that I was anticipating. American adults spend more than 11 hours per day watching, reading, listening to, or simply interacting with media, according to a new study by market research group Nielsen. That's up from 9 hours 32 minutes just 4 years ago. Now let's take a look at my screen time for today. Even after working 8 hours today, I still found the time to be on my phone for 4 hours and 46 minutes, which is already an hour and 54 minutes above my average for the rest of the week. And not a surprise, a lot of my screen time was spent on social media, with already over an hour on Instagram and almost an hour on Twitter. What did come as a surprise was that I only spent 15 of these minutes in my texting app, which meant that I was involved in my socials, but I wasn't being very social. Sherry Turkle, a speaker and professor of the Social Studies of Science and Technology at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, has spoken about this, and in her TED Talk about being connected but alone, she explains how online connection can cause a disconnection in real life.
Just a moment ago, my daughter Rebecca texted me for good luck. Her text said, "Mom, you will rock." I love this. Getting that text, it was like getting a hug. And so there you have it. I embody the central paradox. I'm a woman who loves getting texts, who's going to tell you that too many of them can be a problem.
Participatory media has both helped and hurt my relationships. It has helped me sustain my relationships as a means of communication. For example, I have a sister that lives in Nashville, and I don't get to see her very often. However, thanks to participatory media outlets like Facebook, I connect with her and talk to her every day. An even more impactful example would be the connection that participatory media has allowed me to grow with my family members in Ireland, whom I have never met before. Despite not having met in person, I am still able to communicate with them online. And even when it is not through direct messages, I can follow what is happening in their lives through the photos and posts that they share. On the other side of the spectrum, it's so easy to have no filter while using different forms of participatory media, like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, especially when it is seen an outlet. I am definitely guilty of posting something online or indirectly about someone else that I have regretted later. In turn, this has had a negative impact on my relationships. This also happens if I end up dedicating more time to the relationships that I have formed online, or even just keeping up with my feed and my appearance that I want people to see, and I don't spend as much time focusing on my relationships with my loved ones. This rise of participatory media has also had an effect in the workplace, whether employees are spending too much time online rather than working, or they're posting things that they shouldn't when they have a professional appearance to uphold. If you post something inappropriate online and your boss traces it back to you, this could result in you losing your employment. More often than not, future employers are now looking at potential employees' social media pages because people are more themselves online than they are in person these days. As Marshall McLuhan has said, when we change the way we communicate, we change society. Everyone has changed because of how we interact with new media and how much we rely on it on a daily basis, thus affecting the way that we communicate with each other.